Welcome to Coffee on the Couch. Coffee on the Couch. Hi, welcome to Couchside Coffee. We are back again with guest number 2. We're very excited. We have Katy Bone here. She's going to be telling us about her organization Blessings for Barrett. Really excited about this. She's very local, actually lives within our community, actually my subdivision. And so we're going to be going through that, all about her organization just here in a few minutes. But first we're going to talk about her coffee. So I made Miss Katy here a king cake coffee. Sorry, I blanked there. So she's very energetic. This shows in her organization. She's fun. All her events are super fun, very kid friendly. So I thought, what better way than a Mardi Gras themed drink? Speaking of that, I expect a Mardi Gras themed party.
That would be awesome. That would be fun.
Have you ever had our king cake drinks?
No.
Okay, so
I've
what do
only
you
had the king cake, which is so
phenomenal.
Yes.
Tell us what you think about this drink of yours.
It's really good. I feel like whenever I first drink it, I hit the cinnamon, and more aftertaste is more of the vanilla.
Vanilla? Perfect.
Yeah, it's delicious.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that, again, was the king cake iced latte with whipped cream on top.
Delicious.
Definitely your personality.
Yeah,
for sure.
Join us at PJ's Coffee for a festive celebration with the Green Meanie himself. Mark your calendars for November 16th and December 14th. Enjoy decorating a delicious cinnamon roll and our hot chocolate bar while meeting the Grinch in person. Tickets are just $15 and children under 3 are free. Don't miss out. Find the ticket link in the description or comments below. We can't wait to see you there.
All right, Miss Katy, so we are here to talk about you and Blessings for Barrett. I would really like you to talk about how this came to be. Can you kind of tell us your story? And then we'll kind of move down the line of what your organization does.
Yes. 5 years ago, Barrett was born in June 14th, 2019. Shortly after birth, we noticed that he was very weak. I asked to feed him, and they were like, no, you can't. So then right then, I was like, this is strange.
Your mommy intuition picked up.
Yes. I was like, okay, that this is off. And so they let me hold on skin to skin. And then I looked at my husband and I was like, you need to hold him right now. And so he held him. Essentially, he went from just like a hospital that didn't have a NICU. And then from there, they were like, we need to transfer him to a higher level. So we go to Mercy. Everything's fine. They're like, this is a Friday. They're like, he'll probably be home like Monday or Tuesday. So things just kept progressing. They actually then started getting worse and worse. They couldn't figure out what was going on. They were like, we're going to bring in children's hospital transport team right now. And
their big rig transport team.
Yeah, so they have doctors, nurses. And so they are in the room trying to put him on their ventilator to travel with him to children's. He would not respond to their ventilator. And so that's when it was terrible. I mean, I had just given birth. I was only 12 hours postpartum, maybe a little more than that, maybe a day postpartum, I don't know. Anyways, they grabbed my husband and said, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You will pass here, or you risk it, and you get in that ambulance, and we're going to bag him the entire way to Children's because he can't be on this ventilator. So I'm obviously distraught. My husband just said to the doctor, what would you choose if this was your child? And so we chose to go to Children's. That was the longest 15 minutes of my life. When we got to Children's, the hallway was lined with everyone. They had all the elevators already open because
they knew he was coming.
Yeah, we had seconds. And so anyways, so they took him in the room, started working on him immediately. The doctor took us aside later on in the waiting room and just said, like, this is what we're going to do. Your baby has to be 5 pounds to be put on ECMO. Barrett was born at 5 pounds. So the chief of surgery at Children's Hospital is who we got as our doctor that evening. So right there, miracle. And so Dr. Warner, which is our son Warner, the baby, that's who he's named after, is Dr. Warner.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dr. Warner literally performed, they call it a work of art, that he put Barrett on ECMO at 5 pounds. He was probably less at that point because he hadn't really eaten. And so anyways, he got put on ECMO, and then just things kept just essentially them trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Going down the checklist, there would be one day that they're like, okay, everything's good, we're going to keep moving forward, and then they would bring us in a room and say, like, you need to say your goodbyes. So it was like literally...
What a roller coaster.
It's awful. Yeah. It's just back and forth, and I don't think a lot of people truly understand that part of it. Was awful.
Sure.
So they went down, he had a lung biopsy, and they were like, okay, the worst case scenario is that he has alveolar capillary dysplasia. It's very rare. He won't have that. He had that. And so they figured out that that's what he had. The only cure is a lung transplant. And so fast forward, he lived for 28 days. We were in the cardiac floor, but essentially they just got worse, and we had to say goodbye. So
Essentially, you had to say goodbye before he could get a transplant.
yes, yeah. So he died on Friday, and he was going to get listed on Monday. We knew he probably wouldn't get that transplant, but of course we
You gotta have hope.
hoped for it.
Sure.
Hoped. That hope when he was born just kept dwindling down and down and down the more we would meet with people, and it was, so he changed obviously our lives for lots of reasons. It's crazy that something so small, some child so small, can leave a legacy in 28 days that I can't leave in my 34 plus years.
And I wouldn't cut yourself short. You're letting his legacy live on,
Yes,
right?
that's what I told him the moment I was holding him when he died, and the moment he died, we're like, you've blessed this world. And of course, we hoped for healing here, but he is healing up above, or is healed, I should say, above.
Sure.
And so after he passed, it was obviously hard. Still, it's hard. We started doing acts of kindness for people, not right away, but shortly after, because it's kind of like, what now? Like, I have to do something, and that's a place where I can put my grief. Is like my way of mourning is to help others, and I feel like that kind of fills some of my hurt and my grief. And so we would bless others just doing nice things. And on his first birthday, we went to a restaurant, and we had raised a lot of money, so we blessed that server with $614, and that's 614 his birthday. And so that server didn't just take that money, he distributed it to all of the staff there at Shamrock. That right there was just amazing that he didn't take it, he shared it. And so we did things like that, and then I had a few people say, like, you should start a nonprofit. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not doing that, but cool, it's too hard. That's nice and all, but no.
So I'm going to stop you there. So at this time, did you already have children?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Barrett was not your first.
No.
Where is he in the lineup?
Yes. So our very first pregnancy was a little boy. We miscarried him. It was our first child. He was miscarriage. And then Poppy was born shortly after. And so she was 9-10 months old when I found out I was pregnant with Barrett.
Okay.
And so then Barrett was our second born. And so
Okay.
Poppy was about 16 months old whenever he was there.
Okay.
Yep.
So started at Shamrock's.
Yes.
Server carried it on.
Yes.
So then was that like the igniting force? Like, maybe we should
Yeah.
figure something out.
Something there we did that for several years. We would, the first 2 years, Barrett's like first birthday, second birthday, we just did like a big like picnic in the park. We provided some food and just had people hang out. And then the third year we did a cornhole tournament at Shamrock's because we had met them. We met with a lawyer and did all this stuff to become a nonprofit.
Cool.
We called it Blessings for Barrett, but then we're like, now what? Like, we
Sure.
raise money, we donate it to people, we donate it to a ton to the alveolar capillary dysplasia and different other nonprofits that meant something to us. So we always donated the money. So like, now what do we do? Like, what is our mission? And so my husband Tyler came to me and said, Poppy's our daughter. Like, she was forgotten. She's a forgotten mourner. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, siblings, that's our mission. And I was like, you're right.
Oh, cool. So Poppy, you said, was about 16 months old?
Yeah.
So did she understand? Do you think she understood what was going on? Did she remember anything?
I think a lot of what she remembers is things that how her body felt, which is pretty common for kiddos that age. And then she remembers things that we've told her.
Yeah.
I actually asked her one day about several months ago, like, Poppy, what did you think? And she's like, I remember coming home and there not being a baby in that bedroom. And I was like, oh, awful.
Yeah.
And so I think she does remember. I know she kind of like retaliated. We came home like for good because we were gone. We were always with Barrett. We saw her every day. The grandparents would bring her up to the hospital, but she was angry with us. Like when she came home, when we were home together, she acted different. She was hurt. I mean, went from being with her parents every single day to essentially we're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you take care of your critically ill child, but also take care of your 16-month-old
Sure.
mom and dad.
That's super hard.
Yeah, so it was really hard, and I know like the cards would flow in, the meals, everything, and there were a few instances where there were things for her, and that made us happy that there was something for her, because I mean, it's hard for us to get out of bed. We're crying.
Yeah.
She's just chilling here.
She's trying to like be a 16-month-old,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, she just wanted to play and
Yeah.
goof off, and we're depressed and all of that, and so there wasn't much for her. Remember when Barrett died, she was at the hospital with us, and there was a nurse that grabbed Poppy and like made her a bracelet, and so like that nurse also doesn't even know. I mean, we've told her, but like what she did for Poppy, because Poppy still has those things. Also like the memories that she has with Poppy. We'll ask questions like, I didn't get to hold his hand, I didn't get to touch him, and I was like, you did. And so we were able to show her pictures too.
Yeah.
Of the the moments that she has. So she's, I think, more affected than we even realize because of some of the things that she's said to us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think they'll just forget, right?
Yes.
But I think essentially it's probably embedded almost in herself. Like she probably somehow remembers, her parents' grief and the after effects and
yeah. And I'm glad she saw us grieve, because she knows it's normal to cry, it's normal to be upset,
Yeah.
it's normal to miss him. And she's amazing. She's a huge advocate for grief as well. Like she's not afraid to talk about it. She's not afraid.
How old is she now?
She's 6.
6?
In first grade.
Oh, awesome. You found a niche. So you're taking this huge, terrible loss that was unexpected, and somehow you found something that was missing in the community, right?
Yeah.
So that's blessings for Barrett. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're getting all this money, and now you are helping those siblings with their grief.
Yes.
And so how do you do that?
Yes. So we were like, also, we're going to help siblings. So what are we going to do?
Sure.
And so we've been very intentional. My background is in counseling too, so I feel like that has helped.
Mm-hmm.
We've been very intentional with the program. So we send grief boxes. That is nationwide. However, the majority are actually in our local community. And so people don't even realize that they're walking around these kids who are missing, I mean, a huge chunk of them. So all of the local hospitals that we've been able to get into have these bags, and that's meant for the hour of loss. So if a child passes away and there's a sibling there, that sibling is often, again, they're forgotten, not intentionally, it's just what happens.
No, because the parents have so much to do now.
There
so
is.
many decisions,
Yes.
paperwork.
So like, what if there was something that they could just hand that kid so they remember that they were thought of in that moment? And so that's the bag, that's the kind of the why behind the sibling bag. And so then in there, they can also then request the grief box as well. And the grief box is completely geared towards like their age, as much to our knowledge as we can for them. And then we also do quarterly grief projects, because we remember that last card that came in the mail, that last meal, and it's depressing. Like,
Sure.
I just want people like, did they forget? No, they didn't. It's just time. And so we now do those grief projects that the parents can. They're free of charge. We just send an email and they let us know if they want it, and then we send that to them too. And so that's ongoing.
Wow. So you're kind of helping the parents remember, like, hey, like, this is your email. This
Yes.
is a project you guys can do together. Keep
Yep.
the conversation going.
Yes.
Check in.
Yep.
Those types of- Wow.
Exactly. We've actually had a few schools reach out, and so they actually are the ones that get the emails, and then they'll just say, of course, everyone, like, yes, and then I'll send the project to the school.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there's different ways about it that we can do. And the very first box, I remember thinking, this is what we're going to do. We didn't even tell anyone that we had a website yet. Someone in the neighborhood, I don't know how she found it, but she found the website, requested a box for her family, for this family of hers that was her nephew who passed away. And so that was our first family, was a local family.
So sibling grief, all ages.
Yeah.
What hospitals are you working with?
Yeah, so we're in St. Louis Children's Hospital. We're
Amazing hospital, by the way.
Yeah. We're biased, we love them.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy Hospital and Missouri Baptist
Oh,
right now.
okay.
Every
Huge
area,
hospitals.
Yes. So we're currently working to get in, as many floors as possible that unfortunately would need that service.
And how many boxes do you think you have given out just this year? So from January to mid-September.
Well over 100, I would say, because we're averaging about 15 a month or so, like one every other day.
And are you putting all these together just you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we put them together. Sometimes people come over and help like prep them.
Okay.
And then we do a handwritten note to every single child too. So we make sure that they know it's not just like thrown together. Like I'm reading the comments. It's usually the parent that requests it. I'm reading their story. I'm, writing the letter myself. Like I fully.
How do you handle that grief?
It's very hard.
Yeah. I would imagine just hearing other people's stories along with yours, and
it's hard to just think that people are going through what they're going through, and that these siblings have had to witness some horrific things. The things that come through, it's like you just put yourself in their position. Like a lot of people say, I can't imagine. No, you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why it's so hard, is like I can imagine that pain. And so my kids will even be like, what's their name? What happened? And we try to say like the name of the sibling that's getting the box and their age, just to kind of keep them in on it too. But it's like my own kids, like I just deeply care for all these kiddos.
So you have Poppy. Who else?
Yeah, so then Archer is born exactly.
Great names, by the way.
Thank you. Archer is born June 7th, so he is just shy of a year after Barrett passed away, because Barrett's June 14th. And then Warner is 2.
Wow.
So, Warner's named after Dr. Warner.
Does he know that? Does the doctor know?
Yes, they got to meet.
Oh,
that's awesome. Yeah, he's a
your
phenomenal
story's
doctor.
amazing. Okay, so tell me, we have Blessings for Barrett. We sponsor some of your stuff, which is, I love it. So this is going out to our local community. So now it's like your call for action, right? Like, what are you looking for? What is some needs that are missing that maybe someone can come in with their business and help out? Tell me a little bit more about those.
So we work, I'd say, tirelessly on getting in front of people. I can send a million emails. People don't they don't read them. And so just getting a hold of people and people to believe in us, honestly. We're not, this, huge nonprofit where we're paying salaries and all of that, but there is a need, and there is a lack of support in this area. So just, the amount of hospitals that have reached out that want these sibling bags, that they want resources, and that takes a lot of money to do that. So we're just, honestly, we're looking at people who will just invest in us and our mission. We've been invited several times to give a presentation, so I will go and show them everything that we do. I think that's the way to go, because I think people a lot of times invest in people, and so they want to know and trust you. So we are looking for any business that will back us by sponsoring us. If they are able to come in yearly, would be obviously helpful, because in order for us to make a bigger impact and get into all of these hospitals, we need obviously more money, unfortunately.
Sure.
So that's really what we've been focusing on, trying to do grant writing.
Wow. Okay.
Also, just a lot of collaborating with other people who give suggestions. So we're part of a St. Charles program right now, and it's business professionals in St. Charles County that invest in nonprofits, and they do a project with you.
Okay.
We're just doing our best to get in front of people. That is really hard.
It is hard.
Really hard to do.
It is hard. So you're looking for yearly sponsorships, sponsorships for events, maybe places to hold events.
Yes, because we do two big events a year right now. Sponsorships for, sponsoring, even just a bunch of bags, sponsoring items to go in the boxes. Yes, event space.
T-shirt sponsors,
T-shirt sponsors, yes.
That'd be a good one.
When we do our friends and family fundraiser, we need sponsors for tables and chairs. We essentially have the building, which we're also paying for. So anything that can really alleviate some of the funds that come in, to alleviate those, so we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, you can spend what is coming in on these siblings.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Because there's a huge need, and the more that we don't ever want to have to turn anyone away.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked us what our vision was for the next year, and I said, I don't really know exactly what that looks like, but I know what I fear, and I don't ever want to turn someone away. We do have a hospital in a different state that is begging us for the bags, and I don't want to turn them away. So there's other resources I can give them first. That's really the biggest thing, is the more sponsors that we can come in, then we can do more.
And grow.
Yeah, nationwide, because there isn't a lot of help at all. So, and these kids, they need us. For sure.
What a big hole you found of just like sending love and care to these siblings. I mean, shame on me, but that's like not even something that registered.
I mean, I didn't really until I was living it, you know? And I'm like looking at all these kids with so much grief, like hearing Archer, he's 4, hearing him talk about his brother that he never met. He misses him badly, and he never even met him. And I'm like, it doesn't even have to be, you know, the loss didn't have to be right now for us to help them. Like, we can help them if it was years past. Because think about how much we can help them in their mental health further, just for them to be seen, you know, and feel loved. Because a lot of times these parents are doing the best they can, but they're also dealing with their own grief. And I know a lot of times it's hard for someone going through that grief to be able to pour into someone else. For sure. So it's like, let us help them. Yeah.
What do you have coming down the pipeline as far as events, sponsorships? What do we got going on?
Yes.
People can know if they're excited to go to an event, if they want to sponsor it.
Yeah, obviously our 2024 sponsorships, so we still have those that people can do that, especially end of year giving or registered nonprofits. That's all tax deductible.
Okay.
And then our next big event will be our golf one. So at Elevate Golf, our indoor golf tournament.
Is that right here?
Right
right down the street.
Skip it a hop
That's
away.
awesome. Okay.
And that one we did that last year, and they found us on the good old Google search.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. We're like, I didn't know what to expect.
It's really cool in there.
It is so nice.
Yeah.
Great people. It was a really fun event.
So that's in March, you said?
Yes. March 8th.
March 8th?
Yep.
Okay. And you're still looking for yearly sponsorships?
Yes.
Can someone just donate, like, they can only get $25? Is that something they can do?
Oh, yes. We have this really sweet person who donates $5 a month. Like, literally every amount helps.
Sure.
Any amount helps. So we're just grateful that someone would think of us and want to give their money to us.
And we'll post your website to this episode, but can you tell them how they can reach you? What's the best way?
Yeah.
They just want to donate?
Yeah. You can always go through the website, which is blessingsforbarrett.com.
Okay.
And then also my email is Katy, Katy, @blessingsforbarrett.com. Either is completely fine. If you have any questions, let us know. We're working with a new software company for our funding. And so that should all hopefully be up and running on the website too. But we try to make it easy on how to.
It helps. Anything else you want to mention as far as Blessings for Barrett? Anything we forgot? I forgot to ask you.
Honestly, just thanks for considering us. I think that we know what we're doing. We believe very passionately about it. We just need other people to jump in with us. Also, if someone needs assistance with other resources or if parents need resources, we're also happy to help with that as well. So anything that we can do, we just want to pour into the community and help them with that too. So whatever that might look like, I'd be happy to do the research and help too. So
that's great. You mentioned that Barrett lived for 27 days and just 28 days, and don't discount that last day, right?
Yeah, right.
28 days and did so much in his short life, right? But I want to tell you that would not happen without such amazing, strong parents.
Thank you.
So what you're doing, I'm gonna cry. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
To our community.
Thank you.
To your family.
Thank you.
So don't count yourself short.
Thank you.
And we will always, make sure we're thinking of Barrett and you guys, and any way we can help you, let us know.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy you came and shared your story as well as your amazing organization.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
It's our pleasure.
We just want the world, I always say, if you know me, you know Barrett, and so it's very true.
Sure.
People ask me, how many kids do you have? And I'm like, let me tell you about Barrett.